Manchester United 2, Chelsea 1. I've got to say, first and foremost, what a response that was. What a response. With the conversations that have been going on, with the talks of the players have thrown the towel and they've given up, I believed that there were players that have given up and that there's just people in there that didn't want to give anything for that shirt. I think there's a little bit of a humbler, a little bit of a humbler. I think what we saw tonight with a few of the players that I believed weren't, giving anything for the manager or that they just had enough of playing for the club, actually put in a really solid performance tonight. And I've got to give praise where praise is due. The players responded tonight and we looked energized, we looked fluid, we looked like there was a lot to offer in attack. We looked dangerous. We created so many chances. So many chances. Quite unfortunate to not score more goals. We could have had as many as 5 or 6 goals there. We missed a penalty as well. So technically speaking, it could have probably should have been a 3-1 uh, final result. And you know what? Big ups to the players and most importantly, big ups to Scott McTominay. Before the game, I was one to say that Scott McTominay is a name I did not want to see on that team sheet. That guy's just gone and shut everybody up, pretty much. He's gone and shut everybody up. He's gone out of there and said, you know what? No, I deserve a spot in this team and I'm going to prove it. I'm going to prove it that I deserve a spot in this team. And he's pulled out all the stops to, get impact at the goal scoring end of the team for United. And you know what? Both times, good positions, good strikes, good conversions. His second goal, fantastic movement at the far post. And I just believe that Scott McTominay, maybe there's something there that's reason to believe that, like how sometimes your modern systems, your modern football systems, they have defenders going into midfield to add the extra midfield for possession control. Maybe we've got the extra thing where midfielder becomes another striker, so you've got essentially a front four. You've got 2 wingers, you've got the overlapping fullbacks, and you've got another midfielder running up there to play alongside the striker. So I can't have any complaints. I thought Scott McTominay fantastic today, but individually, every single player put in a solid performance. I don't think anybody had a bad individual performance. I think there's a few players that had okay at best. I thought maybe Lindelof had okay. Perhaps he could have done better with Cole Palmer's goal. But then again, Cole Palmer, there was a very sort of intelligent finish that he had to put it to the far post. It was quite a slow paced effort. Maybe some people might say, well, Nana should have done better with that. I mean, Chelsea, they were missing an edge to their attack tonight. Maybe we are not giving Chelsea enough credit to say the 90% mark. I think they did enough to be able to score more chances. I mean, Mudryk, first half, missed a couple of sitters. Jackson, second half, most notably, absolute sitter. First half, I think he got closed down by the goalkeeper a bit too quick for him to actually do anything there. But second half, he's 1 yard out and he puts a header over the bar. Pretty much, it should be just a simple header in, but he puts it over the bar. So United live to fight another day. But our performances on the front foot has to be one of the best attacking performances that I've seen from United in quite a while. Quite a while. And that is a major positive to keep an eye out for, just solely based on the week that we've had, the recent times that we've had, the concerns about Manchester United. Well, we're struggling with scoring goals. today, I mean, we scored 2 goals, and we could have had, as many 6 or even 7, pushing up, a lot of goals. I mean, 28 attempts with 9 on target, suggests that perhaps, at least some of those should be converted. I mean, Sanchez, their goalkeeper, I mean, a few lucky saves, or in the right part of the goal at the right time, kept the score lines down. But his distribution today was absolutely woeful, as well as Chelsea's defence as well. Unbelievably bad distribution from the Chelsea backlines today. But I've got to give credit as well, because as bad as those passes are, the press needs to work from United to make it count, to make that, to win the ball high up on the pitch. We showed that, almost a relentless energy for most of the game, and we're only really on the back foot for control, or out of, say, contention of the game for, a few spells in the first and second half, and that's kind of it. For the most part, we were, when we had the ball, was very close to, their end of the pitch, and that's great, because that means we're in the action areas, we're in the danger areas for the possession that we have, and showing good energy, good fight, good desire, win the ball high up the pitch, convert it into a chance. And listen, Garnacho, should have scored a couple times today. Rasmus Højlund was unlucky to, not get on the end of a cross from Garnacho in the first half, so he could have grabbed a goal today. Bruno Fernandes, a couple of times where he had the penalty, he missed it. Garnacho had the follow up as well, so Garnacho should have scored on the follow up, because he blasted the ball straight over. Bruno Fernandes, it was all right offensively, all right. Is probably the best I can sort of say for Bruno, but I think defensive contributions, his defensive work rate today was fantastic as well. Fantastic with defensive contributions. So there was a balance in that performance there, which I can't be, say, too disappointed with. Anthony, I have a lot of criticisms for Anthony. I mean, he came out with an interview on the United stand, and called out a lot of people that were critiquing him, and that is, a very some say it was brave. I think it's a little bit silly to do. If you're, it's like prodding the hornet's nest. Fair plays to him. He answered off the back of that interview by actually putting in a very high work rate performance. A few times he could have done a few things better. He should have done a few things better. Various shots that he had, I thought, were a bit tame, maybe a bit better on his placement, but the work rate was undeniable. It looked like we had threat on the right hand side, and not just with Anthony, but with both of our wingers. The fullbacks complemented them pretty well this game, I thought. Dalot, fantastic with pace and energy, and being around Anthony every time that he had the ball. So Anthony was never really, I mean, once or twice he was isolated, but outside of that, he generally had a partner there in Dalot to either underlap, overlap, or just simply play off the pass and play the keep ball better. Luke Shaw on the other side, I thought delivery, and I suppose that's one criticism I've got to give United today. The crossing wasn't that good. The crossing wasn't that good. I think a lot of times it was overhit or was a bit too desperate. It wasn't placed to where we had teammates. I thought it was just hit and hope that there's someone on the far post. If we can find ways in which we can control that, because we've got Dalot who can put in a good cross on the right, we've got Luke Shaw who can put in a good cross on the left. Just work on that placement better, and we create even more chances. Amrabat today, I thought, was put in that sort of unsung hero midfield performance. Absolutely immense today. Really, really good effort, energy-wise. all over the pitch, all over the pitch. Didn't do anything really in contribution at the goal scoring end. But then again, he doesn't need to. He's more to dictate the pace of the play and to break things up. And where I thought that Scott McTominay would leave him quite isolated, I thought maybe the ball gets bypassed through that midfield a bit easily today, a little bit easily. I thought the defence contributed to, dealing with the threat early. And I'll come on to a player in that defence that actually put in a really, really good performance today. And yeah, it's another player that I've had big criticisms of, massive criticisms of. But Amrabat, for what he needed to do, maybe if he has a more defensive partner sat next to him, we're talking more perhaps, better defensive contribution, maybe less so offensive contribution. But when things work out the way they do in the attack, you can only admire that. So fair plays to the team. But Amrabat just never stopped running. I thought a lot of times when the pass wasn't on, he just kept calm, stayed as composed as possible. I thought a very risky, very dodgy pass that went wrong in the early stages of the game. That we're quite lucky didn't lead to a goal. Outside of that, I've got no complaints, none whatsoever. Outside of that, I thought he was brilliant. So fair plays to Amrabat. Just one markdown today with that dodgy back pass. But you know what? Fair plays. Moving on to the defence, I've already covered that Lindelof was, steady Eddie. Didn't have to do anything, spectacular. Thought he could have done better with the Cole Palmer goal, as I've said. But his partner today, Harry Maguire, was quite mobile today. And that's not usually something common with a slow centre-back. He was very mobile today. Was cutting out a lot of the attacks before it gets to the final thirds, where he steps up into midfield a little bit to cut out that final ball. And I think just to a man, used his body well, letting know the Chelsea attackers, physically he's there, he's going to use his body into the challenge as well as he can. And fair plays, he imposed himself. He did impose himself defensively today. So again, fantastic job today, Harry Maguire. Andre Onana, much better today. I thought the distribution was much calmer, less of this crazy, let's boot it out from the back, somewhere up the pitch. No aimlessness. There wasn't really any aimlessness from Onana here. Thought one or two long range kicks, didn't get met by a United head, but he could have had an assist today. I think if Garnacho does better on the run into the finish and converts his chance, Andre Onana's got that assist because it comes from a goal kick. Fantastic heads-up play from Garnacho to start the run, but heads-up play from Onana to spot that. And he plays it quick, straight down the pitch, get on the end of it, Alejandro. And he did, but not quite enough to convert the chance into a goal. So again, fantastic, a good, I wouldn't say fantastic, but good performance from Onana today. I think a little unfortunate with the goal because it's a pace that I think Onana could potentially get to if he's a little more centrally. I think he could get down quicker or quick enough to get the stop to that, because he has to change directions, but I think he's just gone a little too far over towards his near post. And Cole Palmer, using his intelligence there to neatly tuck the finish into almost a reverse angle into the far post again. So, it's a smart finish. It was a clever finish. And I can't really have too many complaints about that. But, as I've said, I think Lindelof, was the centre-back that was following the movement of Cole Palmer there. There was a few other players around. I think it was both Maguire and Luke Shaw. But, man, sometimes those half yards get created, or players, if they're technical enough, can work those half yard chances, and they can, if they get the technique right, can bury those chances. And Cole Palmer did just that. Um, as far as the substitutions are concerned, not really an awful lot to speak about. I mean, Region came on in replacement of Victor Lindelof. That was a half-time substitution. Playing down on the left-hand side, I think we lost a little bit of that creativity on the left-hand side when Luke Shaw moved over into the left centre back role. I thought again the transition from Luke Shaw into that centre back position was quite seamless, um, and yeah, it was a successful transition. It was a good movement or moulding into the centre back position. Sergio Reguilon, very active, I must say, very active. He's up and down the wings to support the left winger in Garnacho in various instances. But again, a few times he attempted the cross. I thought the crossing was better this game from Serge Reguilon than it was from Luke Shaw. But I know that Luke Shaw has got quite a mean, nasty cross on him. So I think it's just the case that it wasn't quite as lucky today with Luke Shaw. But Sergio Reguilon can deliver offensively for Manchester United as well. So, I mean, it's more or less a like for like with fullbacks. I think defensively, Reguilon could be a bit more suspect than Luke Shaw. But you know what? It's one of those where if it's another day, maybe one of them crosses meets the head um, of an attacker, and we bury a chance. Rashford came on in the 84th minute for Rasmus Højlund. Didn't really do anything, just ran around. So I wouldn't say there's any worth marking for performance-wise. Wasn't really impactful in any way. And then Johnny Evans, just to shore up the defence, will probably use up a bit of the added time, which is, it just is what it is. So I think overall a solid individualistic performance. I think there's various elements to a team collective that did well. I think the attack operated well with good fluidity, good movement, good motion, and good transition from midfield into the attack. A bit scrappy at times, a bit scrappy. I think both sides a bit scrappy, but Chelsea playing from the back did not look very good today. It did not look very good today. It looked a little bit better once you got it through those areas and into your midfield. You did better once you got there. But the amount of times that ball from the goalkeeper or from your defenders. Reece James came on. I thought, oh, that's a viable threat down the right-hand side. Offensively, once or twice was in good positions. Putting good delivery, and I think also was involved in that Jackson sitter miss as well. I think it was his head that then puts it over to the far post for Jackson to get on the end of. But defensively, again, a little bit suspect, and didn't really offer any. I think a few times, a couple passes as well that I think popped his team into danger as well, where we won the ball high up the pitch. I've got to be honest as well. When we won the ball high up the pitch, we looked like we were calmer with it. We didn't look like we wanted to desperately pass it, get it away, get it hot potato. We sort of held on to it, got the turn on, looked up to assess the options, carry the ball a little bit, and assess what the options are. And we did that quite well today. We did that better. So I thought, fantastic. If that's an improvement, we can do it even better. We can convert them into big goal scoring opportunities. So I think that's the next step to that. I think once you get the ball in high positions, don't panic. Don't worry about needing to quickly pass it off or release the ball instantly. Don't have to worry about that. Patience off the ball and patience on it. Carry it for a little bit. Just keep it moving. Just carry the ball a little bit and look for that. Make that decision then. Look for that pass, because that's when you give your teammates chances to get into the right positions. And one thing leads to another. We get more goal scoring opportunities. So overall, Manchester United, good performance today. Much happier after that horrendous um, Newcastle game. And we've got Bournemouth up next. And that is a home game again. So I think with Scott McTominay, I saw a post-match comment saying that the manager, that Ten Hag, has done lighter training sessions to reserve some energy, and I think that's what we need to have, is energy in these games. And I think with opposition, if they're training harder than us, we've got more energy to put in higher work rates, and if that's what we can do to generate more of these chances to get the higher press working better, then I'm all for it. So let's see what happens between now and then the weekend, to see how we build upon that performance, because there's definitely something to build upon there, with some good work rate, some good intensity, and in football, anything with good work rate and good intensity is always going to pose problems, regardless of your quality. So, like, even if you're not a special footballer, even if you're Anthony, put some good work rate and intensity into your performances. We can see where you're providing some impact for the team. So that's all we ask. And yeah, leave you guys your thoughts, your feelings about the match in the comment section below. Whether you guys are happy with that. I believe that Ten Hag has definitely got the message through, today's message through to the players. And Scott McTominay said that. He said that the message was clear from the manager, and the switch up, by the sounds of it, with how the training is going midweek, because where we get to a more compact, tighter schedule, less time to rest or to get into a rejuvenated position. If you work with some lighter training sessions to keep yourself fresher, then that might be a meal ticket there for United to get real competitive in games, by just that little bit lighter, that extra energy, extra work rate, making those games much more competitive and difficult for the opposition, and letting our quality do the talking, because we have got some quality in the team. Let the quality do the talking. As long as you've got the work rate and the effort there, that's all we ask. So onwards and upwards for United, hopefully, fingers crossed, to the footballing gods. But yeah, leave your thoughts, your feelings about the game in the comment section below. Do be sure to like the video, smash a like, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Bournemouth is up next, as far as the games are concerned, but we'll have a stream tomorrow night. Late night stream, chill, fuzzy chats, and we'll delve into this. We'll have a nice, relaxed. We can be relaxed about with this chat. So we will be enjoying that wholeheartedly. So until then, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you for tomorrow night. Take care, goodbye, and see you on the next one.